A Les Paul Cherry Sunburst Gibson is one of the most iconic guitars of all time. Musicians all around the globe and here in Nashville can be seen playing them on stage. Now the first ever burst has been unearthed and it's for sale at Carter Vintage Guitars. News Channel 5's Jessica Knutson has the story behind one of the most historic guitars ever put up for sale.
At Carter Vintage Guitars in Nashville, there's no shortage of guitars to play.
Each one of these things has a voice, just like I do.
While each instrument has its own story, one guitar in particular is becoming the talk of the town.
Oh, that old thing.
Behold, the first ever Cherry Sunburst Gibson Les Paul.
It's the earliest one with this version of the finish.
The guitar was shipped out of the Gibson factory on May 28th in 1958, and at the time was simply an experimental piece. An experimental piece that became a legend. The guitars were so ahead of their time that they were only made from 1958 to 1960, but played by musicians like Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Duane Allman, Slash, and recently Vince Gill.
For somebody that doesn't know much about guitars, this is a Stradivarius.
Each burst produces a sound that can't be matched.
When you play an instrument like this, you feel it in your hands, you feel it in your body, and it's remarkable. With the technology we've made and everything, why wouldn't you think you could build a better guitar that sounds better, but they haven't?
It plays beautifully, sounds beautifully. Wonderful guitar.
Walter Carter was a historian for Gibson for years before opening Carter Vintage, and he knew this guitar was special from the moment he heard the serial number.
See, this has a three-piece top because it was probably going to be a gold top.
This particular guitar was bought by a Memphis man for his son as a Christmas present.
He played it through his high school years, so maybe for 3 or 4 years, and then it just sat around.
The guitar sold for about $350 back in 1958, but today it's being listed at $625,000.
He was pretty cool about it. His wife needed a glass of water.
To get more insight on the guitar, we visited a man who wrote a song you may recognize. You could call Ed King a vintage guitar expert.
This is a 54, my 59 Stratocaster blonde.
He's acquired quite a few over the years.
Wow, that's pretty.
But seeing the first burst
It's a 3-piece.
is a treat for anyone. Time to plug in.
It's clean, but it's just a little bit crunchy. I call it natural crunch. Well, that's a beauty. And they just decided to make this one cherry, and the fact that it still has the beautiful red color measures up to the best I've played. Walter, I'm broke. I can't afford this, but it sure is nice to play it today. Thank you.
But for many musicians, the price for this dream guitar, keep it that, a dream.
I married Amy, I do okay, but I don't know if I can afford that one.
And while this historic guitar is a little pricey,
A piece like this would be better used for recording.
its sound is priceless.
Because in recording, it doesn't get any better than one of these.
In Nashville, Jessica Knutson, News Channel 5.
What musician wouldn't want to have that? We've extended interviews with Ed King, Vince Gill, and Walter Carter, as well as more in-depth information about the first burst on our website, newschannel5.com.